Well, visiting with Laramie coach Chuck Syverson as we get set for the final regular season home game and a big showdown Friday night at Deti Stadium as top-ranked Gillette comes to town to take on your fourth-ranked Plainsmen. That's right. You make it to the poll this week. Are you pretty excited about that? Is the team kind of jazzed up about that?
A little bit. It doesn't mean a whole lot other than, it's kind of nice for us to get some recognition across the state. But as far as, how we approach playing Gillette and how we approach the end of the year, it really is inconsequential. So other than getting a little recognition, it's kind of nice, but it's still a game plan week as usual.
You guys have won 4 straight games. How is the spirits of this team? How are we doing in terms of continuing to focus on progressing ahead?
I think they're pretty optimistic. I think we hopefully will be in the top half of the playoff bracket when that comes around in a couple of weeks, and so we're looking at building towards that momentum and getting better every week. And I think teams that's playing the best when they get to the playoffs are definitely going to be the teams to be reckoned with, and we feel like we've been playing our best at the end of the year each year the last 3 years, and so we're hoping to continue that this year.
As you continue to play better, obviously the games become more and more important, a little more pressure. How are these guys dealing with that pressure right now?
I don't really notice that they feel pressure too much. I think they feel like they just do what they do, and they want to get better as individuals and better as a team, and they usually feel pretty good about the game plans we've had going in. And the biggest thing I think is we've gotten to the point now where we feel that we can compete against anybody, and that's been a big change in the last few years, and I think they're really confident regardless of who they play these next few weeks.
You've played Gillette a couple times each of the last few years. We haven't been able to break through it. It's been like a good half or a good quarter, and then all of a sudden a couple things happen and they're up 3-4 touchdowns, and it ends up being so lopsided we get to that unfortunate running clock rule. How do you keep yourself in the game more so this time around?
The biggest thing we're looking at this year is making sure we control the clock on offense, and sometimes that's hard offensively because if they're going to give you something, last year in our playoff game, they were giving us some big play opportunities, and it's hard not to take that. But we may have to look at that a little bit more this year to make sure that we control the clock a little bit better than we have in the past, and try and keep their offense off the field. Their running back's pretty dangerous. They have a pretty effective passing game, and depending on how we match up with them defensively and how we wear down as the game goes on, we're really going to have to really work on controlling the clock.
Defensively, what are they going to throw at you? You just touched on their offense a little bit, and Clementson and Wilkerson, the running back, quarterback, pretty good. But what do they look like defensively?
They're a 4-2, cover 2 team, so it's a little bit different than what we've seen in the last few weeks. We've seen a lot of cover 3 and cover 4. So the routes changed a little bit on that, so we had a little extra time in this week on those routes, and obviously have a really good defensive end that we're going to have to keep our eyes on him, do some special things and maybe make sure he doesn't get to Taylor, and then just work on attacking their secondary. I think there's some opportunities there to move the ball, and we've had some success throwing the ball against them in the past, and we're just hoping that we can continue to run the ball like we have the last couple of weeks, and if we can do that with a good passing attack, that gives us a chance.
That's a big showdown. You juiced up even as a coach, and you feel like teams may be kind of ready to go for a big ranked showdown this late in the season?
I think they're getting there. We still have a lot of things we got to work on this week, getting ready for the game, and maybe that's why we kind of maintain that even keel as the year goes on. Is we do have so many things that we got to focus on during the week. We really don't focus on numbers. We look at who their personnel is and how we match up and what we have to do individually to be successful.
Well, leave the hype machine to me. Good luck to you on Friday night.
You can have that.
Good luck Friday night. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
That's Plainsman coach Chuck Syverson. Number 1 Gillette in town to take on your 4th-ranked Plainsmen. 7 o'clock to kick off Friday night at Deti Stadium. You can listen to the game on KOWB. Join Verdon Hoops and myself in the call. We start at 5:30. You can also listen online at KOWB1290.com or take us mobile with our Radio Pup app. It's number 1 Gillette visiting the 4th-ranked Plainsmen.